Hello. Let's talk about how the conventional medicine um diagnose somebody with cancer. So, how do they diagnose you with cancer, benign, malignant? How do they do that? Well, let me tell you from a German new perspective how your cells work first of all. Okay? You need to know that. You know why you need to know how your cells work? So you can when somebody tells you you have cancer, you can say, "You know what? My cells are healing and they're multiplying to help me. They are not malignant. They are not cancerous. And they're just doing its job. And I understand it. And you can't make me afraid." Okay, let me tell you. Okay, Dr. Hammer, he wrote about 5 biological law. The first law talks about everything happens with shock. The second law talks about healing phase and conflict phase. And the third law talks about where your cells work and live. Okay? And what program they run. The third law. It's very important to understand the third law because you want to know what the hell's going on with your body, and the third law explains it. So let's talk about it. The old program, the cells, you have cells that live in the brainstem and the cerebellum, and they work by adding in conflict and subtracting. Get that, okay? Now, your cells also lives in the cerebral cortex, in the cerebral medulla. And your cells work by subtracting during conflict and add during healing. Get that. The reason why I'm telling you it lives the old program and the new program. The old program lives in the cerebellum and the brainstem. And if you get that the cells add and then subtract, you're good. And you understand that the cerebral cortex and the cerebral medulla works by subtracting and then adding. That's how the cells work. The reason why I'm telling you where they live is because when somebody does a scan, a brain scan, and they have abandonment issue, the brain stem's going to highlight. Or if somebody has a separation issue, the cerebral cortex is going to highlight. Okay? And that's why it's important to know how your cells work. If you want to know. If you don't care, then you know what? I guess you're really not interested in it. But for me, I like to know. I like to know what's going on in my body, how it's working, and why it's doing the things it does. I'm not just accept someone says, "Oh, I don't know." I need to know why and what and how. And people think I'm a pain in the ass because I always ask lots of questions. But that's how I think. That's how I process. I need to know what the hell's going on. And I'm not going to accept someone telling me I don't know. But German New Medicine is there to support you because it tells you who, what, when, where, and why. And the conventional medicine has no thesis or explanation to why things happen. So when they go in, just imagine they go in through when someone has oh my god, they're going. When somebody has a scared fright conflict in their lungs, okay? What the hell a cell works in the brainstem? We already know it adds. So it adds, it multiplies, okay? So just say I made 50 cells to help myself because I had shortness of breath because I got scared because the doctor told me I was going to die and I couldn't breathe and my cells are so loving and they build 20, 30 cells. And then all of a sudden the doctor goes in and does a biopsy. And my cells are multiplying that time. They're going to say it's malignant and it's fast growing. But if you knew it, you know what you would say to them? It's not malignant. It's not fast growing. My cells are multiplying because it's healing. And if you only wait and I deal with the scared fright conflict, my cells going to subtract. And you know who's going to subtract it? The TB, the mycobacteria, and the bacteria. They're all going to eat that. But if they did a biopsy during the cell subtraction, they're going to see TB and they're like, "Oh my God, you got tuberculosis. You're going to die." Do you see why it's so important to understand how the body works? That's why you need to know. And it's going to blow the conventional medicine out of its mind when you tell people like that what's happening to the body. They're like, "How do you know that?" Because I learned the German New Medicine and I know what my body's doing and I'm not afraid. So if I hack up a loogie and I hack up a little blood, I'm not afraid because I know my TB, bacteria, mycobacteria are eating all the extra 30, 50 cells it made for me to survive. And now it doesn't need it anymore and it's eating it. And think of a construction site. It's just deconstructing and it's going to be a little messy and bloody. I'm just spitting it out. I'm just sort of supporting myself through it because I know I'm going to be okay. I can support myself through natural medicine. That's why natural medicine needs to combine with German new medicine, because it's going to be a great world. And I hope I brought awareness today. I hope you like it, because I really loved it when I found this out. So if you enjoyed this, comment, like, subscribe. Blessings always.